Did I tell it in any way to change levels? No, not at all. So now, let's change levels. But here's the thing. How many levels we got?
We only got one.
Yeah, we should probably fix that.
We should make a new scene.
Now check this out. We could go down here if we wanted to and make a new scene, but don't do it. Don't do it. Because we'd have to re-add everything in. Check this out. If I click on the scene, copy paste, we have a new scene with everything in it. So, and we can go in and we can title these. Like, I can title this level 1, this level 2. Obviously the scene that's first is the scene that you'll go to when the game starts. So if the scene's first, when we publish the game, that's the first scene you're gonna go to. And you can drag these around. Like I can literally just move them in whatever order I like. So if I want to change that, I can change it. So what we're going to do is, just for the sake of whatever, in level 2, I'm just going to take out my little column in the middle and make a little change. So I know that it's level 2. All right. So we've got the 2 scenes. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go into level exit, and I'm literally going to create a rule that when the player collides, or when it collides with the player, we're going to go to a behavior and we're going to go to change scene. And you'll see we have some options here. Next scene, or you can pick it. So we just want next scene. So when it collides with the player, it goes to the next scene, and I'll title that. Don't forget to title everything. So let's just see if it works. Yep. Let me change scenes. Now I want you guys to pay attention to something. Look at my counter.
It keeps going up.
Keeps going up. Did we tell it to reset?
No.
Mm-mm. So now we're going to go in here, right? Same thing, when it changes scenes, we're going to change attribute. And we're going to put that counter straight to 0. Literally, I'm just going to type in 0. So we'll reset the counter. And now I should go through scenes, and then that's it. And then you should be able to transition between levels. So take a minute, make sure everything's up to snuff, and then we'll, fix this on death, because if you notice, what's our death still? It's literally just, it's not resetting. So we'll put the reset in. We got to add some very important things real quick. We don't have any sound. Yes, no, we need some sound. I've decided. So check this out. Let's start adding a little bit of sound, a little bit of polish. And then we'll add some explosions. So check it out. We have a sound tab. Sound tab, exactly like the image tab. Exactly. Check this out. I'll do the plus, right? And I gave you guys some sound effects. And I can just add them all at once. This is the thing I want you to pay attention to when I add them. So when they come in, they'll ask, do you want it to be music or do you want it to be a sound? All right, so music works better for longer tracks. Sound works better for shorter tracks. All of these are shorter tracks. You also get a lot more versatility when you use sounds. So you get a lot more versatility. So I'm going to import them all as sounds. So I'll apply to all and import as sounds. Now you'll see, let me make sure I have volume. We've got our sounds, and we've got some, and so we've got a couple things. So go ahead, import the sounds. There's 3 of them. So just bring those in. Make sure they're sounds and not music. Sounds and not music. Once you got them in, it works kind of the same way as images. So check this out. I think the first one, let's just do the gem grab, like that one. Super simple. Check this out. I'm going to put it, you can put it in the gem or you can put it in the indication. I'll put it in the indication for the sake of it being easy. So watch, I'll go into the indication, literally grab my sound, I'll just plop it in there. So when it appears, the sound will play. So you have options. You can change the volume, you can change the pitch, you can loop it, you can make it positional. So that's cool. Depending on where you put it, it'll like, move across the left and right channels of the device you're on. So that's pretty cool. And you can have it run to completion. So what run to completion is when you check it, it makes it uninterruptible. So it'll always finish, it'll always go. So all I'm doing, dragging it loose, I hit play, voila. Then when that's in, we'll go to game functions, and I'm going to leave the sound loose. So game music, drag it in. Now here's the thing we don't want. Now watch on mine. You see I still have run to completion checked on this. Watch what happens. So we got this sweet music. Whoop. Now it would help if I was good. So let's do this again. So, okay, watch.
Oh, the overlap.
Yeah. And we got to do another thing because it doesn't loop either. You notice it stopped?
Yeah.
So we want it to loop, but we don't want it to run to completion. So we want to allow it to be interrupted. That's what happens when you uncheck it. Also, if you guys notice, the music's a little loud. It kind of overpowers my sound effect. So what I want to do is, check it out. If I go to volume, I'll make that 0.5. I'll just turn it down a bit. So then it gives the sound effect a little more chance to shine. And you see, it allows itself to be interrupted. So it'll play over and over again. And then it'll loop right about now. Oh, and yeah, if you change the pitch, it'll go like, use decimals if you want to change it. Because pitch, like, you can make it so high that it's just, like it just doesn't exist anymore. But it's actually so the reason we're using sounds is we can manipulate things and we can get more out of sounds. Now, here's your fun fact on Apple. So if you were to publish an iOS app, above 50 megs, and you can't download it on without Wi-Fi anymore, which can actually hurt sales depending on what type of game it is. If it's kind of like a quick game like this, we want it to be under 50 megs. So, because we don't want you to think, we just want you to be like, yeah, I want that, click. The best advice is there's a lot of people, or there's one thing, one game. So it's 1 month, or one game a month. So you literally just say, okay, I don't care how simple it is. I'm just gonna finish this in a month. And then you get confident. And then you're like, you set yourself up to win. Because then it's like, oh, game. And then you start doing a little more complicated. You get a little more comfortable. Okay, let's try 2 months. And the game gets a little bigger, and then a little bigger, and a little bigger. And then soon you're knocking out like year-long crazy, RPGs if you want. Like you could do whatever, but that's the thing. And one of these things I want to quote Kurt Beeg on this. Really smart guy. He's another developer in New York. He's like, if you take a simple mechanic, so simple like one button, little easy thing, expand on that, you'll get a giant deep game. And people like that, especially if you're designing for mobile. You don't want to have like too crazy if you want to appeal to a wider audience. Obviously, you do whatever you want. It's your game in the end. It's no one else's game but yours. Let's add a few more sound effects. Now check this out. If we go into player, right, I'll just put player death in here. Right, just the normal like, right, but check this out. Here's the fun part. We can use this for him dying and for the level appearing. Watch this. I'll take it and I'll put it on level exit too. Just loose. I'll up the pitch. So like, I'll put it like 1.5. Now listen to this. Same sound effect, we just tweaked it a little so the player is going to think it's totally different, and you save room on device. If I wanted to do things on touch, like I'll go into player right now. And let's say I could just be like go up. On touch is inside. And watch this. See?
Okay, gotcha.
Super simple. Actually, let's make an explosion and then have the explosion do the resetting. So what I'll do is I'll just make a new actor. I'll call it explosion. Right? And then I have an image for that we can bring in. It's a fancy blue explosion. Right here. Now all we're going to do with this is I'm just going to literally change size and make it a negative. So it's going to pop up big and then just go shrink. Now here's what I want you to do. We have these things in GameSalad called timers, okay, called timers. So after X amount of seconds, for X amount of seconds, every X amount of seconds, do something. So if you go down, that's here too. So we can say timer. And I can say after 3 seconds, we have a behavior called reset scene. And we can drag that in there. Because when you have the player die, you kind of want to rub their nose in it a little bit. You want to leave them like, oh, I died, so it sinks in. So everybody's got this so far. We've got the explosion. If we go into the player and on death, we spawn this. So on the kill rule, I just literally spawn actor. Explosion. We should get, there you go. But there is a problem. Here's the problem. Can you guys guess what? Check it out. 1 gem. And the level change. Look, all I did was set it to 0 when it changes levels. So when it dies, we'll literally do the same thing. We'll set it to 0 again. That's it. I just change attribute, literally just copy and paste it, and that's it. So now, right there, it changes. So now, we have pretty much a completed game. We have a way to win, we have a way to lose, we have an objective, and we have a way to constantly iterate levels. So you could just and just build a million of these. I'm Lawrence from Goodnight Games, and goodbye.